What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know we tas, 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 tas. We get it in. But before we get it in, let's get to this intro before I drop that super gunners 13 on you. Ciao! Soul gang. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So are you guys ready for Super Gunners 13? I shouldn't have left you without a dope to step two, step two, right? I could hit you with the remix every time. Now look, this one is an old school throwback. I've told this story a long time ago, but I got a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new supporters, a lot of new people all up in my DMs, right? Tortas preferably, blondes, brunettes, it doesn't matter. I'm good with it. But I definitely wanted to retell this story in its entirety, man, so that way you guys can know the details on how I got bamboozled and I ate tacos de perro. I can't say it right here on YouTube exactly what that is, but those that know, and those that don't, go to the encyclopedia, look up perro, translate it, and you'll be like, "Arr, arr," right? It's crazy. Yes, I did do that. I knew I did that, and I continue to do that. It just is what it is. So now, I had committed a crime, right? An assault. My assaultive behaviors got the best of me. And at that time, I was fully activated. I was an active Norteño. My whole thing was to target dropouts. Like, you see how it doubles back on me? You see how the choices you make in life fuck you up, right? But my whole thing was I wasn't tripping off Southerners. I wasn't tripping off Bulldogs. I wasn't tripping off Chiros. I wasn't tripping off nobody. But if you happen to be one of all those combined and a dropout, right? I was on you. And so there was a particular character that was running around the city of Merced, man. And he wasn't no punk. He wasn't no joke. He was one of those guys you approach with caution. Again, that sends me back to the belief in what I tell everyone: just because a dude falls off or is a dropout or a DO, whatever you want to call him, degenerate, doesn't mean he's a sucker, man. He'll still break your kneecaps, right? So this was one of them dudes that you had to really watch out for because, yeah, he still had a lot of influence. There still was a lot of Northerners in the city running around thinking that he was still a big homie, thinking that he was still with the actions and the business. He was with the business, but not our business, right? And so being that was none of my business, I'm going to go ahead and make it my business. So I tracked him down to a particular club. Actually, we had heard that he was going to this club, right? So we were kicking back one day and we were at a party, man. Actually, not even a party. We were going to throw a party. We're at the homegirl's house. One of my homeboys had just got released out of prison that day. And so all my homeboys were at they were in Salinas at a wedding. And I remember I was like, damn, I called the homeboy and I was like, hey, the homie got out. They're like, what? They're like, hey, we're going to slide back through after this fucking reception. We're going to come through and we'll party over there. So I was like, yeah. So my chick at the time, right? She was like, hey, we should go to the club. We should go kick and have some drinks pregame, before the homeboys all come back. So I was with that. I was like, yeah, we could pregame a little bit. So the homeboy, he had just got out, like I said. You know how when a homeboy gets out, he's got the tank top on. He's trying to flex his muscles. He did 8 months and he don't know how to act, right? I'm like, hey, bro, we're going to go to a bar real quick. Just kick back right here at the pad. You got the homegirl's pad to yourself. Jack off for something. I know you're used to that, right? Don't trip. We're gonna be back. We'll try to find you a chick. If we can't find you one, let's get you here. I'll forward mine. I don't care. She's one, but not that one. Yeah, I could tell you right now, there's no ring on my finger. So we end up going to one club. We get kicked out of there because one of the homeboys and the homegirls that went with us, they were only 19 and 20 years old. They weren't old enough to drink. And so we didn't even really make it into that spot. So we ended up going to the spot that we used to go to called Maloney's. It was pretty well known in Merced back then in the 2000s. It was the spot. We considered it our spot because that was our hangout. That was our area. We had been hearing, though, because we hadn't been going to the clubs, right? There was a wheelie that was sent to us from the person in position that said, hey, you guys don't know how to act at the clubs in Merced. You guys are acting a fool, so you guys are on restriction. You guys can't go. We let another man tell us where we can and cannot go. Yeah, we did that. That's just the way it is. All you active guys, man, that's how it be like that sometimes, right? You got to roll with the punches. This was our first day able to go back. Got a homeboy that got out. Got homeboys partying in Salas with real homeboys, right? Just chilling. And then, of course, we're trying to all go to a club. So it's me, a couple homeboys, my chick, the homeboys Bolo, and then the other homie and his chick, his wife, right? I tell everyone, man, we had been hearing that the dropouts had been hanging out there since they knew that we couldn't go. They got all our wheelas. Like, they knew everything that was going on. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of actors that fucked with them. That's just how it is. It's how it's always going to be. So they knew we weren't going to the club, so they started to go. So me and the homeboys walk in. One homeboy backs up like a crawdad. Me and the other homie, my crimey, right? We go in. We identify this dude. I've told the story. I get off. I end up catching a prison term over that. But anyways, chaos ensues. I get stabbed. Dude gets bottles broken on his head. Shit happens. I get away from it. He gets away from it. We're gone, right? So me and the homeboys know that we got warrants on our names. So we end up going to a homeboys out there in Oxnard, California. We're out there chilling with the homeboy, a northerner. He lives out there, but he's way low key. And he shows us a paper. Our front page, our faces are on the front page of the newspaper, so we know we got to wiggle somewhere. Now, I had knocked the chick out there out of Ventura, Oxnard area. Knocked her, right? She was a Southsider chick, Colonia. I'm all up in Colonia, undercover like a motherfucker, chilling with a Cowboys jersey on, right? But I know that this chick right here, she's going to college. She's just doing her thing. She has a kid, so it's like, I don't want to bring too much drama to her life. So I'm already contemplating what I'm going to do. Like, man, I got to get fuck up out of here, right? And so I end up going to the homeboy's house. I remember taking off walking, Ganga's house, Soul Gang everywhere. And I'm like, damn, but I got a Cowboys jersey on, so I'm blending, right? I walk to the homeboy's house. He's like, get in here. My crimey's there, which is his primo, right? What the fuck you doing here, bro? He's like, fool, you see, we're in the, man, they're cracking down. They're trying to get us. So what are we going to do? He's like, I don't know. So we have a homegirl, which he was, at that time, that was kind of his chick, right? One of his chicks. She has brothers that live out. They're the homeboys from my neighborhood, but they stay out in Phoenix, Arizona. So we get a hold of her, my chick. They're like friends. So they're talking. They're all scared. Hey, you guys are going to get caught. They're looking for you. They raided the house a gang of time. So we're like, damn, we ain't got no money. So my chick at the time, she's like, don't trip. I'll bless you. She had money. Her dad used to give her money. So she was sending me hundreds of dollars, you know what I'm saying, through Western Union. And back then we didn't have cash apps. We didn't have none of that. It was, you had to go to an actual spot. There was no woman to woman. They weren't doing that. It was just all Western Union. But she's blessing me, sending me money. Boom, boom, boom. She's like, I'll buy your guys' Greyhound tickets to Arizona. So we wiggle out to Phoenix. We figure, fuck it, let's go. If we're going to go on the run, let's go on the run. Now, being on the run's the shittiest thing you could ever be on. I hate it. You're broke. You're just committing more crime. You're hanging out with fat chicks that don't particularly, they don't smell too good, but you're just doing it for whatever reason, for the cause, right? There's just a lot of bullshit going on. You're surrounding yourself with more caca. So anyways, we end up going there. We get a fucking room for a week. The homeboys pull up on us. One of the homeboys is balling out, so he blesses each with a tawa, like, here, bro. I'm saying, don't even trip. I got you guys. The other homeboy wants to be a rapper and shit. You know what I'm saying? We're hanging around with him, though, because he's crazy. We're going to clubs. We went to a club called Panteras. We're just wiggling out there for about a week. My chick, and it was around, what do you call it, Valentine's Day. I remember because my chick and the homies, whatever she was to them, they surprised us for Valentine's Day. Came, tas, bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? Because I had already hooked it up with a couple of tortas from that club for later on. So we were just using and abusing these women, but not in an abusive fashion. But you guys understand what I'm saying mentally, like just utilizing them, man. Stupid, right? Dumb youngsters on the run. We wiggled into Mexico, but let me explain to you why. Our plan was to go to the homeboy's tia's house in El Paso, Texas, which is on the frontera, the border of Juarez. I have a grandfather that lives in Juarez, right? You do not. He has grandfathers that live in Juarez. You do not want to go to Juarez. Not at that particular time. I'm telling you, shout out to Juarez and to all the paisitas that are over there Juarezing, right, doing the Juarezization. But I'm telling you guys right now, at that particular time and that year, there was heads everywhere. And they weren't attached to bodies. I'm telling you. Cartel shit was different. There was wars going on. Okay? And here we are, two stupid-ass norteños, man, on the run, trying to fucking wiggle into Mexico where they'll cut your head off for a pack of cigarettes. We end up going to Texas. We land that night, like 1 a.m. off the Greyhound. I was getting a mean-ass mamona on the Greyhound from a chick from Long Beach. Go Long Beach. Ever since then, man, I bumped Long Beach 213. Ever since then, man. Respects. Hey, how do you knock a chick without saying anything? I could honestly say on my bucket list that I've done that. We were sitting next to each other. How we ended up next to each other? Well, I sat down when I seen how fine she was. Big old that, right? I'm just slowly nudging, slowly. I could see her and I could see me. And then next, our arms are touching and they're rubbing a little bit. And she gives me that look and I give her that look and That was it. And that's a true story, facts. My crimey's on here. If you remember, he'll tell you. I had knocked her. We stopped at a McDonald's. I didn't have no money on me at that particular point in time, so I couldn't buy her an Egg McMuffin, but I knocked the stuffing out of her Egg McMuffin, and then I bounced, right? Jumped back on the bus. She was going to Long Beach via I don't know how, and we were going to to El Paso. We get to El Paso, call the homeboy's tia. She's in California visiting his jefita. She's not even there, right? So it's like, damn, what are we going to do? We ain't got no money on us. I think the homeboy had like $50 to his name. We already blew through that 1,000. Homeboy gives us 1,000 because we're on the run and we fuck it off one night at the club. Just chilling. Tortas. Tortas got our whole wow. So now I call my chick. I'm like, hey, I explained to her the situation. And I'm like, man, send me some money. She's like, you got to wait till the morning. I go to the Western Union. I can't do nothing for you. I can't do nothing for you, man. I'm like, damn, right? So I'm like, man, I didn't want to do this. Let me call my grandfather, right? So I call him. I'm like, hey, I explained to him, hey, we're right here. We're on the frontera. We need a ride. We need to go to your pad. Now, he lives in a place called Anapra. And right in Juarez, right? So when you cross over the frontera, you're in Central, basically downtown, right? Or close to downtown if you bust a left. If you bust a right, you start getting into the barrios. There's different barrios, okay, or barrios. And when I say that, I don't mean like barrios like Florencia or Norte. No, it's not like that. It's like actual fucking neighborhoods with the big boulders and rocks pushed in the street so you can't get down them. No showers in sight. So my grandfather's like, hey, I'll send a homeboy, but he's not going to be able to cross over. He'll pick you up. Look for the fucking blue Lincoln Town car with 3 tires. What? One of them is straight rim. Just rolling on rim. Palabra. It was bad. We were like the whole ride home, right? So we walk over like, fuck, I tell my homeboy, he's like, let's go, bro. I got family over there too. Let's go. We mob over. We get there, right? Bam. Sure enough, there's a dude looking like Cantinflas there to pick us up, eating a 50 piece of corn. Órale, órale, compitas, vámonos a la verga con el libre. Let's go, right? So we jump in his car. We get there. Cartel don't waste no time. They spot us within an hour. They pull up in a red Dodge Durango or whatever it was, a Ram, and they tell us that we got 2 weeks or even a month to stay there or they're going to murder us on site. Well, okay, right? We'll be out of here in a week. So we're there. We're getting comfortable. Where my grandfather's. I got 2 homeboys that are already there from my neighborhood. They were on the run for a attempted murder at that time. They've been hiding out there. We're all kicking it. Anyways, my chick at the time, she sends money. She sends me like $250. She's like, man, you got to make it last. My money is starting to act funny. I'm like, that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? My pipa isn't acting funny. And if you want it, says, okay, you got to get hooked up on it. So she's making sure we got at least 100 to 150, every few days, whatever. So she's like, man, you got to hold on. So I'm hungry. My grandfather ain't cooking us shit. He ain't got nothing in his house but beans and tortillas. And we're on the run, homie. We're trying to enjoy ourselves before we go to prison, right? So we walk down to this little spot and they sell hamburguesas, hamburgers. The best Mexico. I don't give a fuck about Look, man, in and out, out and in. I don't care. They ain't got nothing on hamburgers in Mexico. They cut up weenies. That's good. They cut up jamon. Like, hey, you're getting the hamburgers are this big for $5. Straight up. Palabra, right? So we're getting fucking big old like Subway sandwiches, de favo, turkey, melted, grilled with, man, fuck this, right? And it's bomb in Mexico. They'll still cut your head off though. So we're wiggling, navigating the streets of Mexico. And one particular day, man, my money is funny. And I call the chick and I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You got to shoot me like 100 or something, man. There's like a Western Union there. You convert it into Mexican money and all that, right? And at a bank. And she's like, hey, I'm broke right now. She's like, you don't got enough to last? I said, I got like $18 to my name. The homie had like $10. She was taking care of both of us. His chicks weren't doing shit. They were just fucking at night. Of course, they're on the phone and like, hey, do you hear that? You hear that? He's like, he's all over there fucking jacking out. I'm like, hey, bro, fuck. How are we going to eat? That shit doesn't work. So the homeboy had been to Juarez plenty of times. He has family there too, but he had been there like he knew Juarez. Like that motherfucker go there 3 times a year, right? I ain't never been there at this point. So I'm really watching my back. Can't speak a lick of Spanish. You know what I'm saying? I could say, hey, orale, carnal, but that's about it. And they could spot me like a fish out of water. We're all flamed up Northerners. Luckily, we had a few cats there that were, you know what I'm saying? They thought they were homies. And so we're wiggling around with them. And the other homeboys have been there for a while. And I'm the only one asked out that can't really speak too much Spanish. But I'm like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? If they try to, I'll just say, I'm a tourist. Right? And that's just how that's going to, what's up, brother? I'll hit them with the wood accent. So I tell the homeboy, damn, I'm hungry, bro. And there was a marisco. Wasn't called a marisco because it's just fucking over there. Everything is everything, right? And I was like, man, they got bomb. They had some shrimp. We had ate it, right? The shrimp with the papas and they had fucking fideo with it. And it was just good food. I'm like, man, I want to go to that spot, bro. But I only got like $18 on me, bro. And the plate's 20. And what you got? He's like, I got 10. I said, man, we put it together. We can get one plate. Dog that shit. We can smash it. He's like, bro, he's a big boy. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, bro, you want to go get the best tacos? I was like, bro, we can't. You know me, I'm good for 10 to 15 tacos, period. That's how I get down, right? I'm like, I don't know if I could do just a couple. He's like, nah, bro. Hey, these tacos are bomb and they're cheap, bro. Like 10, 20 cents a taco. I said, bro, don't believe the hype. Don't believe that bullshit. You go to Mexico and you get some Jordans for $10. It doesn't happen. Hey, in some places, the Jordans were more than they were in fucking Foot Locker, right? So I'm like, nah, shit is a little bit cheaper, but not like you think. You're not going to fucking go eat a whole feast for fucking $2. No, you're coming out the pocket $25, $30 for that shit, right? So I'm like, nah, bro, you're bullshit. He goes, no, serio, this little old lady, she has her own tienda, her own store out of her pad. She sells the best tacos right here. I'm like, let's go. So we walk like a couple blocks. Sure enough, he ain't bullshitting. There's fucking paisitas in line. They're smashing tacos. It smells bomb. Her store wasn't a store. It was her house with roaches. And she opened that front window and she had a fucking sartén right there with a whole bunch of carne and fucking tortillas that didn't even seem cooked. And she was just tas, and everybody was giving her money. And I'm like, so I go up to the window and I see she has two big pots of meat, right? They're one's like greenish color. The other one is red. And so I told the homie, which are the bomb ones? He said, they're both bomb, bro. I said, oh, man, them green ones look bomb. Right? The carne look like pork. And so I get, ¿qué eso? Like I asked her, what is this? ¿Quién es? She said, carne. I said, yeah, I know carne, but is it like pork or beef? And she starts laughing. She says, de perro. I said, yeah, right. And I thought she was playing. I thought she was playing, right? Fuck, no. So I'm like, hey, how much? She's like, 10 cents. I said, well, hold up. I'm 10 cents. This is better than Jessica's in Modesto. Fuck 9th Street, right? I'm in it, right? I'm like, man, give me 20 of those bad boys. She's like, no. I said, all right, like, give me 10, and then we'll do another 10 after. And the homeboy goes, I'll take the red meat. Quick, too. I didn't recognize it. I didn't recognize how quick he wanted the red. Of course, I like chile verde, so I was like, I'll take the green. The homeboy's looking at me like, are you sure? I'm looking at him like, you know it. Man, I sunk my motherfucking teeth into that taco. That meat was savory, tender. The salsa was on point. I had never had a taco up to that point. She had crema, she had cilantro, she had onion, everything laid out right there. More chile. I'm packing that shit in. I'm smashing. I get one down. I get two down. The homeboy's laughing at me. He's like, damn, slow down, fool. I said, man, these are the best tacos I've had in 10 years. They say, I got my micro velca on, right? And as I'm smashing these tacos, he's like, you don't know what you're eating, huh? I said, no, what happened? He said, bro, remember a long time ago, the rice bowl in Merced? I said, yeah. And so we had a spot. It was an Asian spot in Merced. And everyone used to go there. Everyone used to go there, get your little rice, sticky rice, your little meat, little mystery meat, whatever, right? We didn't trip until one day that place got busted on some cat shit, right? Now, look, shout out to my Asian partners, man. You know what I'm saying? Mecca Leka Hai, Mecca Haini, Macau, right? I fucking got love for the Hmongs, the Laos, the Mien, the Cambodians, every Asian. I fuck with them tough, right? To this day. But that particular place, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, they got busted. There was some Garfield came up short there. Heathcliff was no more. That was a feline palace. That wasn't a feline palace anymore because there was no more felines. Like they got literally busted. It was in the newspaper. All the homies are like, damn, bro, they're rocking themselves. We used to go there, eh? Fuck, right? I'm like, I'll still go there. I don't trip, right? Anyways, they shut that spot down for that particular, and then someone bought it and changed the name or whatever. So he tells me that, and I was like, yeah. I said, oh, this is cat or what? He's like, hell no, fool. I said, what the fuck you tell me that story for, bro? He says, dog. I said, shut up, bro. Man, I looked at the lady. She looked at me, slow motion with a silver tooth, like, yeah. I was like, hoo, hoo, hoo. A bulldog would have threw up, right? I was like, and then I got to thinking, I'm in Mexico. No one knows but the homie and this fat chick, right? And she definitely ain't telling no one. I mean, she did tell me, but I didn't listen. No one knows. Dame mi diezma tacos. I need 10 more. And I sat there and I smashed them. And it was what it was. And the homeboy was laughing. I said, eat one, fool. If you're down for the hood, you'll eat one. He said, I ain't eating that shit, fool. you're gonna get sick. I said, man, I don't care, bro. I'm gonna get sick if I'm hungry too. Well, man, I ain't gonna lie. I went back the next day. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Hey, which ones do you want? The green ones? Because I don't know what the red ones are looking like. The homeboy only ate 2, so they obviously weren't that good. But them green ones were fire. Anyways, yes, I got caught up in a situation where I ate it. Would I do it again now, knowing? No. If I'm starving, yes. That's just what it is, man. But yeah, that's the old school throwback story. That's what ended up happening. Then from there, we ended up coming back to California, and my house got raided. I got arrested, and that's what happened. So that's the old school throwback, man. Super Gunners episode 13. Look, there's people like, what the? Hey, look, don't knock it until you try it. Don't try it though. Don't try it. Hey, you notice Max hasn't come in one time? That motherfucker went to his cage and is just laying down like this, traumatized. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's gonna be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle for what truly I believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Now, we're going to get interactive. Do you want a super norteño or do you want a super wood? 1 for a super wood, 2 for a super norteño, 3 for both. Let me know, and I got you. Bang, bang.